We are right in the middle of one of the biggest economic shifts of our lifetime, and it's all being driven by artificial intelligence. It is changing, well, pretty much everything. But if you look past all the hype, there's a really basic question that every investor is wrestling with. In this brand new world, who's really going to make the money? Okay, so to really get our heads around this, let's use a simple, classic analogy. On one side, you've got a farmer who grows sugarcane. That's the raw material, the essential ingredient. Then, on the other side, you've got a company that buys that sugar, adds some water, some incredible branding, and a secret formula to create a world-famous soda. Now, both of them are obviously super important, right? But think about it. Who ends up building the real, lasting fortune? And that is the exact same question we're facing today in the digital world. The sugarcane, well, that's now electricity. It's the raw power that's fueling this whole AI revolution. And the soda company, that's the tech platform, the AI model itself, the branded app on your phone. So that's the big question we're digging into today. Who gets rich? First things first, we really need to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of AI's appetite for energy. I mean, it isn't just big, it's off the charts. We're talking about a boom in power demand that we have literally never seen before in the modern age. To put a number on it, get this. For decades, electricity demand in the US was pretty much flat. But now, data centers alone are projected to crank up their power use by a mind-blowing 175% by the year 2030. That's not a gradual slope, folks. That's a rocket ship. So what does that actually look like in the real world? Well, Goldman Sachs research puts it this way. It's like we're adding another top 10 power-consuming country to the planet. Imagine taking the entire energy needs of a country like Spain or Australia and just adding it to the grid. It's wild. So you might be wondering, why the sudden explosion? Well, it's because AI is a totally different kind of computing. It hits the grid like a lightning bolt. These huge, sudden bursts of demand. We're not talking about sending more emails here. We're talking about incredibly powerful chips, where just one generative AI query can guzzle up 10 times the power of a regular Google search. That adds up fast. Okay, so you've got this insane demand for power, and our current electrical grid is, already a bit shaky. What does big tech do? Well, they're not just calling up the local power company and hoping for the best. Nope. They're going all in on a huge strategic bet to lock down their own power supply for good. And listen, this isn't just one or two companies dipping their toes in the water. This is a full-blown stampede across the entire industry. You've got Microsoft, you've got Amazon, Google, even OpenAI. They are all funneling billions of dollars into partnerships with nuclear energy companies to build everything from giant power plants to brand new types of reactors. So why are they all betting on nuclear? It's pretty simple, actually. It solves AI's biggest problem. It needs power that never, ever shuts off. That's what they call baseload power. Nuclear delivers that with over 92% uptime, something wind and solar just can't match. Plus, it's super dense, it's scalable, and it's low carbon. It basically checks all the boxes. All right, so we've laid out the two sides of this coin, right? You've got the power producers and the tech platforms. To figure out which one has the edge in the long run, we're going to pull out a classic tool from the playbook of, well, arguably the greatest investor of all time. You've probably heard this before. Warren Buffett's analogy is just brilliant in its simplicity. He says to think of a great business as a fantastic economic castle, and the value of that business, that castle, is all about the moat that surrounds it, how wide and deep it is. What he's really talking about here is a durable competitive advantage. It's the thing that lets a company keep competitors at bay so it can keep making great profits year after year. And the wider that moat is, the tougher it is for anyone to come and attack your castle. And these moats, they can be built in a few different ways. Sometimes it's a brand that nobody can touch, like Coca-Cola. Or maybe it's a huge cost advantage or a powerful network effect that keeps everyone on their platform. So the big question for us is, who's got the wider moat in this AI power struggle? Okay, let's put this theory into practice. We're going to compare the economic castles of the Magnificent Seven, the biggest names in tech, against the utility sector that's feeding them all that power. And wow, when you look at the numbers for 2025, the story becomes crystal clear. The Magnificent Seven are on track to have profit margins and earnings growth that are pretty much double what the utilities are doing. And their return on capital is so high because their value comes from things you can't touch: code, brands, data, while utilities have to spend a fortune on physical power plants and equipment. I mean, just look at this gap. It is absolutely massive. For every single dollar that comes in the door, the big tech companies are expected to keep almost twice as much pure profit as utility companies. That, right there, is what you call a very, very wide moat. So, what does this all boil down to? It leaves us with two completely different ways to think about investing in the AI revolution. You're choosing between the core infrastructure and the shiny application that sits right on top of it. So, on one side, you've got the power grid castle. It's the essential plumbing, the foundation of everything. Investing here is about steady, predictable growth, maybe some nice dividends. It's a solid, well-defended fortress. And then you have the digital platform castle. This is the glittering kingdom with the famous brands, the sky-high profit margins, and that potential for explosive growth. But, and this is a really important but, here comes the twist. The Magnificent Seven are now spending hundreds of billions of dollars on physical stuff, like data centers and power plants. And some analysts are starting to warn that the spending spree could actually be a double-edged sword, and it might start eating away at those amazing profit margins. Which leads us to this kind of wild, provocative final question. As these tech giants build their own private energy empires, are they accidentally turning themselves into the very thing they're trying to control? Are they becoming slower, asset-heavy giants, kind of like a utility company? And in the end, that's the fundamental choice staring us all in the face in this AI era. Do you want to own the sugarcane farm, the essential raw material, or do you bet on the big brand soda company, hoping its powerful brand and high profits can overcome the crushing cost of building an empire? The answer to that question is probably going to define who wins and who loses in the next decade of wealth creation.